Good morning, everyone. Welcome back. This is Eric, an aviator in Illinois, and I'm just sitting here surveying the scene. I'll turn the camera around here in a minute, trying to come up with a plan of attack. I got to put some stuff up from the previous hairs. Anybody know a good barber? All right. Yeah, it's not high on my priority. Anyway, going to look around here, and I'll turn this around and trying to come up with a plan of attack this morning. Happy New Year's Eve morning, and stay safe and healthy, and be back in a minute. Wow, this looks awful, but I can put those two in the kit, leftover parts from that project, those two being the balsa wood, and put the stain up downstairs where it goes. Getting into right here, this other headlamp bezel. Let me pick this one up and I'll show you those pinch welds. Not sure if you can see it through the rust. I may have to grind that off, get through. That's unreal. This is, of course, this is stainless, and the bucket is, and this is steel, which pinch welded to it. I'll have to put the nylock, or not the nylock, but the disc, sanding disc, there on it, and see if I can clean up the pinch welds. That's what I'm going to be doing this morning, using the copper pieces. Fill this up, get that ground down, get that looking like something, get it sandblasted. I gotta change the, let's raise this up, gotta change the cover to protect the glass, to keep from sandblasting the glass with the plastic lens cover, not sure what you'd call it on there. Anyway, to get this cleaned up, get this in primer. And I was looking at this morning, maybe I should just use the, wrong trim ring, that goes with that one. The trim ring in the lens on the original, and then just come up in here. This is the mounting hole for the headlight bar. We'll just come up in here with just a lamp, you know, and get away from this, which will just leave me these two extra, and that piece there extra. Don't know. I might have to do a little research on that and see what I come up with. But Happy New Year, everybody. Yeah, well, actually, that's not till tomorrow, so maybe I can wait till tomorrow. I take all that back. So that's what's going on this morning. See ya. Hey guys, it's Eric back in the hangar. Happy New Year. It's New Year's Day, so just hanging out in here trying to stay out of the missus' way. She seemed like she was in a mood earlier, so yeah, I want to stay out of trouble. So here's my paint booth. Yeah, it's awesome, isn't it? Right next to the other aircraft too. But just spritzing up some rusty parts. That's the other headlamp disassembled. Here I'll show you the original one. We got some rustage going on here. That's a 1928, so, or 29, so I don't know, it's 93, 94 years old. Anyway, so I'll spray those black, Henry Ford's color, the first thing, and get them going. So just in the shop today trying to figure out the sequence of what I'm gonna be up to today. Mostly just trying to stay out of trouble. Probably get rid of some of this mess that went a different route. I'm not going to be, let me get some parts up here, show you what I'm going to be talking about. Hopefully I won't break them. I had a change of plans, because these have been, as I alluded to earlier, upgraded. Ooh, hard to do, trying to do all this one-handed. So this headlamp will fit inside of here, the steel beam inside of there, which will fit inside of that one, which will go up in here. But I ordered from Max, early Fords, the lens, brain fart, that'll cover all that, so it'll get rid of this lens and this headlamp. The reason why I did that, because I was going to have to cut the back of the headlamp out and get a bulb that you could actually get in and out, but I have a place down here that I could do it. So if this just has a lens in there, get all this cleaned up, reconditioned, then I could just plug in a bulb, you know, Christmas light or something down there, 120, and be good to go. So that'll make that, and I'll show you a picture of what I'm heading after or the direction I'm going to, but I'll save all these rest of these parts and we'll see what happens. That's the direction I'm gonna go in today. Over there in the paint booth, spray some black on that, get that going first thing. Then let me get this down on the floor here and show you what else I'm gonna be up to is maybe beating on some of these dents here, trying to beat them back into submission and make this round again, give it some more life. So this curve right here is about the same curve as here. And I'll use Thor. Where is Thor? Here's a body hammer. Ah, there's Thor. Got this on eBay. I love this little hammer. Anyway, and be tapping that around. You have to be careful. This metal has been stretched. So the metal was flat and then it got stretched down that way. So when you go to beat it back out, if you stretch it, you'll hit it too much and stretch it too far, and then it'll be misshapen the other direction. I'll just try and push it back into where it belongs. We'll see how that goes for me. Other thing is I wanted to make a T dolly for the bench vise too, which is just a piece of flat stock here and with a round bar on top of it. I do have a round bar, which I got to thinking about it. I was worried I broke a 1/2-inch drive piece. So I had to whack me off that end and make it round down there and then get me, I don't know, 4, 5, 6-inch piece. Put a piece of flat stock, lay that down there. Weld a piece of flat stock on it right there in the middle, and then I could clamp it and use that as a dolly also. So hopefully get around to that today. And that's what's going on today. Happy New Year, everybody. Thanks for coming back, and maybe I'll show you some work, not show you some work. It's Diane Travis on RAC Garage, Road Alliance Garage, and Kyle from Carter's Auto Restyling. It got me to thinking I could actually do some finished metal work. So darn you two. We'll see what happens. I'll show you my misadventures on that. So stay tuned. See ya. All right, back at it. Got tired of tripping over this original light bar, so threw it in the sandblast cabinet, which I had talked about changing the lens earlier. Oops, over there. So yeah, that's a great tool. You know, this is a little bit big for it. It gotta go in corner to corner, but you know, it'll really clean up some stuff. If I get down here real close, you can see some rust focus underneath the sealer, but it'll take all that off. I'll get some self-etching primer on it and paint it black and be good to go. Laid out my other dolly while I was waiting on the compressor to turn off so we could talk, and just shaped it on the grinder, cut off that 1/2-inch breaker bar that I'd broken. It was a cheap one, so I'll cut a piece of flat stock, get that welded together, almost out of gas. Hopefully I have enough to put it together. But back to the sandblaster. Yeah, I don't know how I ever lived without that thing, but it's like a bad girlfriend. Its purpose is great. It does a great job. But yeah, you gotta pay the price. I don't know if you can see the dust, but that dust gets everywhere, sandblast dust. Then you got to clean the filter. Then you got to change the media, and whew, yeah. So I don't recommend running out and getting one. That one is an all source. Let's go around there and take a look at it. Got a light. Like I said, it's got a filter, and then you beat on the side of it, and it drops it all down. It's supposed to be kind of self-cleaning, but it's not. Yeah. It is a great tool. Granddaughters drew me a picture stuck on there. But, ooh, yeah, once again, back to that bad girlfriend theory. Got doors that open up on each side, but yeah. So if you go out and get one because I said so, you're on your own. Not recommending it, but it's, you know, guy's place. So, okay, so made the other dolly, the T dolly. Let me see, I put that in here, right there. That worked out pretty good. Have a bull nose on one end and a chamfered straight edge on the other. Yeah, don't comment on the welds. We're still learning. So now I'm going to go after using Thor. This bezel's got a couple dents. I'm not going to use this one, but I'm going to straighten it out and clean it up anyway. Right there. I tapped out a couple on this little devil here on the edges. The edges being right here. Got these two major ones. Actually, there's several right there. But let me see if I can get that to focus. Those two, I'm going to use that dolly because this profile is the same as this profile. So let me set the camera up and put you on something. Fast action or whatever it's called there, and we'll go from there. Be back in a few minutes. So here it is. It's not perfect, but it ain't bad. I put it on the buffing wheel over there, and you got to be careful with that buffing wheel. If it catches one of these edges, it'll take it away from you and sling it into the wall. So if you're going to be using those, practice a little bit. You get to digging too hard in that wheel with the buffing compound trying to polish it out, you'll wind up in trouble. So there's both of those. Still have to do the buckets and the outside ring. I got a bead on this other one, and we'll see what happens with that. And those are the parts in there. I'm waiting on the parts over there in my paint booth on that box for those to dry. Put this one back together, and we shall continue. Okay, I've got it roughed in, and you can definitely see the dings and dents in it. There, got it scuffed up, so it'll tell us the highs and lows. And there, I mean, all the way around it, right in there. But the two rough spots were right there was a big crease, and right there was a big crease. And every time I hit it with a hammer, you know, it put a hammer mark on it. So it got the inside of it cleaned up. That's what it did look like. Didn't get down in there because that has to come apart. Here's the other, I'm not sure which side's which is anymore, but it's got dings in it too. And I got to thinking, this is the bottom of it, so it's going to sit there and look at you like that. You know, this headlamp ring took the brunt of all the roads and the rocks and the stuff kicked up, and they were passing a mule and kick up a rock, and so yeah, here's the headlamp bucket for this trim ring. Got it cleaned up. They don't look too bad. Oh, there's the other one. They didn't have any big dents in them. So let me see if I can get this. Where's the latch? Right there. So it'll go, should live something like that. That's original steel, so that's original Henry Ford stuff. Well, right there's what it looks like. I gotta do some more beating and hammering on this one, and maybe I'll show you, see if I can pull a picture off the other video when I started and take a picture of it now and see, do a comparative check, and try to download off eBay, which got me going. We're trying to make a wall hanger. So I got to spray the other end of the light bar. The other parts for this bucket are paint is drying, which is disassembled all the hardware and stuff in it. And I'm going to have to come up with a spring, a compression spring right there. Focus, yep, right there. So that goes back and latches, and then so that way you can pull the latch back, swing it up, and change the lamp that's on the inside. But that's how you access it and don't drop the lens. Eric with Aviator in Illinois back again, and we're hanging in the garage this time, as you can tell with the hood. I am attempting to learn how to TIG weld. I took electricity in vocational school, went to military with electronics, got out of the military, and then went to electronics engineering. So I'm a technician, I'm not a welder. I'm trying to learn, so this is no easy task for you welders. So have fun, enjoy this video, and I'll show you some of the stuff that I've been into. Let me turn this thing around, and I'll be right with you. See ya. So here's the challenge. It's a great little welder. Just found this little trick, well, not trick, guide, or recommended settings, and the results were mixed. No, they were just bad. Is exactly what you're not supposed to be doing. So this scrap. And finally, what I'm trying to do is learn how to not to romp on the pedal. I have a pedal and not a finger. And ooh, that's still warm. Been tacking on this, and to learn to keep from having to grind. And that's about 3 or 4 passes right on top of each other. Hey, look on the inside, see about penetration. Yeah, it's just all black. Yeah. So, yep, that's how not to do it, fellas. What I was trying to do was weld up that bucket, which was a piece of this headlight wall art. Here's the rest of it. Let me spin this around. That's a good shroud. That's aftermarket. I don't know how I got that. That is an original core. So it's a honeycomb. If you notice, it's not straight. So it got a little bit of cleaning to do on it. and it's brass. I mean, that's an original 28. So
here's a headlight bucket, and what I had is a crack.
Paint it up and clean it up
right
and
here,
try and get hung
and
up
then
here on the
underneath
wall.
this,
That's the
where,
bamboo bomber panel, which you
couldn't really tell, but it was a crack.
airplane section.
Not a big deal.
So just trying to finish this
So,
up.
that bucket is still good, just have to take it apart. Here's where I'm at right now with my crack and my welding skills. 24 thousandths stainless steel, supposed to be set on 25 to 35. I started out at 16. So I was Googled the internet, and usually on steel you use 1 amp per thousandths on TIG. And on stainless, you use 2/3 of an amp. So 2 divided by 3 is 0.66 times 24, which will give you 16 amps. So I was setting about 60. I tried 16, blew right through it. So then I tried, lower and lower. Then I got down to the minimum setting on it, which was 10, and this started out to be a crack. And now look what I've got. It just kept blowing through. Even at 10, you strike an arc. That's the last thing I did was blew through it 3 times. So I was like, okay, I can't go any lower. I went to the smallest tungsten that I could, ground down the smallest tip that I could. I had the least heat as possible. As soon as I struck an arc, blew straight through it. So I was like, all right, I wanted to go to a heavier piece of stainless, and I'm going to learn or attempt. Let's back up here. Let's just be completely honest. Going to attempt to learn how to not romp on a pedal. It's not drag racing. If it's set on 80 and you just strike an arc and then ease into it. So it's set on 15, 16, you strike an arc and you got 10, then you just ease into it, until you get a puddle going. I could never get a puddle. All I could do is just ball it up. So you go with more heat, and the worse it got. So you got, the old Kenny Rogers thing, know when to hold 'em, know when to fold 'em. Yeah. So I just freaking gave up. Ordered an original set off eBay marketplace, and we'll see what, I was hoping to get stainless. It looked like it was stainless from the inside. Hopefully they won't be too tore up and I can get them cleaned up. I was banging out dents earlier, but this did not work out for me. So we'll, continue on. But that welding trick. So then I decided, okay, I'm gonna learn how to use this tool. Went with heavier stainless. I got a bunch of material laying around from work, so I'm gonna try that. I'm gonna try and give myself an hour or 2 every day. With steel, stainless steel, I have learned how to stay away from the grinder so long, which means every time I struck an arc, I was fill a rod, boom, and then hit the tungsten and off you go. It's not working for me. I didn't take welding. I took electricity. So yeah, I know how to use an ohm meter, but the whole TIG thing, it's just not, it's not working for me. But I did lay a bead, and I did keep the tip out of it, and I could dip it in there. Here was my last few attempts to sort of lay a straight bead. So there's one I started earlier today. Don't do that. Keep at it. I did have a backer. That's what this copper is for on the 24,000 stainless. And this is 80, so this will take a little bit more heat. You can see I got quite a bit of heat in it. So I'll keep learning. I did do this patch, I don't know, a year ago. I gotta try to straighten that up. That goes on another piece. That's a real 1940s, early 40s exhaust shroud that goes on a radial engine. So I really don't want to mess that up. They won't mess up the headlight bucket, but it's not as hard to come by as this stuff. So anyway, that's where I'm at. I'm gonna close this off and end this video with that, trying to learn how to weld. So now you got a electronics guy trying to learn how to do mechanical stuff. I still have to fix, my wife brought home a desktop sterilizer, which is what you see at your dentist and your doctor's office, that I need to take a look at. I think what they've done is just ran it and not, at least they're using deionized water in it now. But they haven't, I don't think they've cleaned it and probably tripped the internal breaker or something. I don't know. Have to take a look. We'll see. Don't want to be making any preconceived notions. Just take a look at it and go from there. See ya. So here's what I used to do for my career is work on these, and I'm working on the wife's office sterilizer. It had blown an inlet fuse down here. Usually a fuse gets blown because of a component has let go. This was the 115, actually a 250 15 amp, but a 115 circuit fuse, which would indicate the cabinet fan, one of the valves, one of the three, or the heating element. Replaced the fuse, ohmed out all the elements, and they were okay. So put in a diagnostic mode and did them all. Now I'm running and everything's fine. So cleared out the codes. Failure codes from operator error, opening the door and doing stuff wrong, stop it, just stop being there, interrupting the cycle, and just finishing up a good cycle here, and and cleaning it out with some food grade vinegar. So it appears to be in pretty good shape though, actually. That's what I thought would be wrong with it, but it's not. So we'll just finish this up, score some ports with the wife, and run another cycle with the vinegar, and then clean it all out and flush it. And that's